All right, we're talking about how to clear up misunderstandings and miscommunications by gaining a better understanding of our own psychological development and that of others. And we're walking through these different person-based perspectives. So we are partway through this series, or quite a bit into this series at this point.
Almost done with it.
Almost done. So go back and watch the others if you haven't already, or at the end of this one. But just to get you caught up, we all start as newborns at a zero-person perspective. In other words, we don't understand what persons are, what people are. We don't understand the difference between ourselves and our caregivers. We don't have a sense of self. All we know is our urges, our instincts, our feelings, and our needs. And then we move into first-person perspective at about 6 months to a year, where we have an identity. We understand what people are, that we are one, but I'm focused almost exclusively on my wants and my needs. I'm aware of the existence of others, but only in relation to how they can meet those needs and serve me.
And it's known as the impulsive stage,
Yes.
because you just impulsively do what you want or what you feel.
At about age 4 to 6, we move into second-person perspective, which is where we start to realize not only are there other people, but they have inner lives like we do. They have thoughts, they have feelings, they have wants, they have needs, they have perspectives and views that are different from our own, and we start to build communities and friendships so that we can meet each other's needs. Everybody gets to this stage, but not everybody moves past it or dives deep into it. So everything from here on out is a choice. And if you choose, you can go into the third-person perspective stage, which is all about objectivity and observation. It's where you take a step back and assess, who am I and what do I believe? Instead of just believing what's been told me, I'm going to create and shape my own sense of identity and worldview.
And you take that authority that you've previously given to others,
Yes.
and you bring it back to yourself. And each one of these stages, developmentally, are necessary and important.
Yes.
We needed the previous stage of looking to authority figures to learn what's right, what's wrong.
100%.
And at this point, we step back and say, okay, I've been taught by my community, by my family, what do I actually believe?
The fourth-person perspective is, what would life be like if we approached it with the energy of tell me what things are like for you? We start to engage in pluralism, which is embracing the diversity of our communities, our cultures, learning about the cultures of others, how they do things, how they think, and why, and starting to work towards the good of the whole, of the entire group. And that brings us to where we are today, which is meta-observance. Ooh, what does that even mean?
Dr. Susan Cook-Gruder calls this stage conscious aware. We are aware of the constructed nature of all knowledge now, witnessing and experiencing the inner working of the meaning-making process itself. So at this stage, we're aware of the fact that we create meaning from constructs, and we're being conscientious about what meaning we are taking from what constructs.
Now, if you're not familiar with what a construct is, it's how we take what we're observing and explain it. It's the story that we tell, or it's the system or the solution or the explanation that we give to give everything structure and organization.
Okay, so if you watched our channel very much, we talk about personality types all the time. And I had a really cool experience of going to Kenya with a humanitarian organization and teaching future teenage girls and leaders of Kenya self-development and mental health, right? And we actually taught them the personality types as a form of them being able to see their own innate worth and their innate gifts. And then we built from there.
Yeah.
Anyways, so there was this team of 10 women, and I was one of the youngest of them, but it was me leading this teaching, and we were all doing it together. So we got together on the first night, and I'm teaching them, here's the framework, here's the system, here's how we're gonna teach them about their gifts. And these wonderful, amazing women that served on nonprofit boards and ran successful multi-million-dollar companies started getting lost in the details and started getting overwhelmed and asking questions. And I was like, guys, this is a construct. To the extent that it is supportive, use it. To the extent it is not supportive, just set it down. Don't get lost in the details. And that shifted everything, right? It shifted everything for these wonderful, amazing women that I looked up to and I call friends, but it also shifted everything for these wonderful teenage girls that didn't have the same opportunities that we had.
Well, and the key there is that a construct is something that is there to serve you, and if it doesn't serve you, set it aside.
Yeah.
It's not a cold, hard fact that is incontrovertible. The DSM-5, how we classify mental disorders.
It's a construct.
Those are all constructs. Now, the constructs are based on evidence, and they're based on actual observation.
There's validity there.
Right, there's validity there. But the reason there's a DSM-5 instead of a DSM-1 and they just stopped is because they're constantly retooling the constructs based on new information, which is why when I say you've been diagnosed with clinical depression, it doesn't mean it looks the same for you as it does for somebody else who has that same diagnosis. It's an umbrella, right? It's something that all of this can fall underneath. It helps to explain what we're observing. And if it serves you, great, and if it doesn't, don't. So here's my clip from the movie The Matrix, one of my all-time favorite movies. Neo is a computer hacker who comes to learn that the entire world that we live in is a simulated reality. Yeah. It's not real. The danger is, even though he knows it's not real, it still feels real. And if he dies in the Matrix, he dies in real life because the brain makes it real.
Yeah.
And this is where he realizes, well, this is all a construct.
Yeah.
None of it's real. I don't have to die if I choose not to adhere to the construct. I can set it aside. So he's been shot.
Now get up.
And he's dead. No. Bullets don't have to hit me. In fact, I can stop them in midair. Why? Because none of this is real. It's all constructed. Does it serve me to get hit by the bullets? It does not. And this shot right here, so the bullets fall, but then check this out.
He is the one.
When he sees all the ones and zeros, all the computer code, it's not real. It's built. Does it serve a purpose? Is it valid? Is it, and in a certain sense, is it real because we believe it's real and we feel it's real? Yes. But I can choose to sidestep it and say, this is not my reality.
There's a lot of quantum physics theory in there that we're not going to dive into.
What, in the Matrix?
Yeah.
That's cool that you said that.
If you're a nerd like me and we ever run into each other and you want to talk about quantum physics, I'm here for it. Before, when we were identified with our thoughts, with our constructed sense of self, it was hard to not take that self seriously. It was all that we knew. From this perspective, we have a new capacity to develop true humility. We ask, do I really know what I say I know? Isn't this conviction I've been so uptight about my whole life just another construct? While this process of taking inventory of everything we've ever known, believed, or loved can be daunting, it can lead to a place of greater openness and lightness. We take ourselves much less seriously, and we really learn how to laugh. We learn to cry as well because we let go of former beliefs. We let go of former beliefs that dictated how and when we should cry too. We realize the light within us is the same light that is within others and the interconnectedness of all humanity.
Well, and honestly, this is how I navigated my own personal faith crisis with regards to my religion. I have deeply held religious beliefs. They have been core to my identity, and for a long time, that was it. This is it. This is the truth, and this is the path.
This is the whole truth.
This is the whole truth.
And nothing but the truth.
Right. And then I started to see the cracks of humanity, the cracks of human error, of human bias and prejudice and mistakes in the history and policy of my particular church. And then I also started to really look at and embrace how much light and truth and wisdom and goodness there is everywhere. And now it's not that I don't believe what I've always believed. It's that I believe it differently. It's that I have the humility to say, at least to me it feels like humility, to say, I believe this, I feel like it's true, but I could be wrong. So looking at it as a construct that I believe in, but I look at, okay, what serves me? What is supportive? What helps me to show up in the world with love and light and make a difference? And what aspects of it contributed to scrupulosity or judgmentalism that maybe I can let go of or approach from a healthier, more accepting, loving place? And so all of these principles, and it's not just my religious views. It's any worldview that you could have, anything that you put stock in, that you tie your identity to. You can find a way to navigate and hold on to the parts of it or the wholeness of it that matters to you, but you can do it in a healthy, supportive way by doing what Neo did and essentially saying, okay, I see what's what. I'm going to choose what really works and what I believe is true.
So the challenges with this perspective is existential despair. I thought I was my thoughts. I thought I was my memories. I thought I was my hopes and dreams. Now all of these mental constructs feel like foamy bubbles washing down a stream. So heartache and grief from finding our identity in people, places, and things does not define us or give us true meaning.
And going further into the solutions then, kindness and curiosity, which is compassion mixed with humor. While all human knowledge is constructed, all of it, we learn to have confidence in supportive constructs and discern between supportive and unsupportive. Focus on the light. Life has a way of creating contrasts, and ultimately you get to decide what you want to create. This whole approach allows us to not fight and argue over facts or interpretations of facts or meaning or interpretations of meaning or beliefs or worldviews. It allows us to, in a very open way, say, I want to learn from you. Now, yes, there are facts, but the simple fact is, if you look at science and scientific theory and scientific method, it's always evolving as what? We receive more information, as we observe more, as we gain more. Past assumptions and even theories that we thought were proven are left by the wayside as we gain more information. That exact same process works in our relationships to ourselves and to each other. We hope you've been enjoying this series. Inviting you to check out the entire series, go back and watch and rewatch because this was deep, this was heady, but it can be life-changing. Until next time, folks, keep shining.
We need your light.